Anything rent to own is a scam, especially rent to own housing. Own housing landlords prey on poor people and people with bad credit and naive people. It works basically the same way as like renting your furniture, except slightly worse. Usually you make a large down payment and then you pay rent for a couple years. At the end of your term, you're supposed to come up with the remainder amount, either with cash or with a traditional mortgage. So let's say that in the year of our Lord 2025, you find a $150,000 house. That should be your first red flag. So you put $15,000 down. You may make $1,500 payments, like higher than rent payments every month for like 10 years, but only a couple $100s of that will be going towards your principal. So the big amount, the $150,000, doesn't really go down that much. So at the end of that 10-year period, you might have to come up with $80,000, $100,000. So you wouldn't really have made that much progress like you would with a traditional mortgage. They are all hoping that you don't make it. They are all hoping that you move out so they can keep your deposit. You don't get that back. A lot of these houses are derelict, right? Because nobody gets an inspection on them. They may be falling down. They may have out of code electrical. I know somebody going through this right now. We tried to convince them that it was a bad idea, and they're young and they were naive and they didn't really look into it and they didn't get an inspection. Because you're not a traditional renter, they don't have to come and fix anything. So when they have all of these issues pop up, they're on you. You might have used every last penny you have for the deposit, and then when you move in, there might be $100,000 worth of renovations that need to be done to make it livable. There's a reason these houses are rent to own and not being sold through the traditional methods. Usually they can't. If you live in a neighborhood long enough, you can kind of see it coming. Sometimes I will see a house that's been for sale for a while by owner, and one weekend they decide they're going to slap down some gray LVT and paint the outside white, and it's rent to own now. Or a naive young family is going to move in there and make the worst decision of their life. I know that people are going to be in the comments being like, well, I've done this and it's not been anything bad for me. Or even worse, I'm a landlord and I do this because I'm trying to give back to my community. No, you're not. Okay. There are traditional mortgages out there for people with bad credit and people that need lower down payments. They take a little bit of work on yourself to meet the minimum requirements for some of these programs, but rent to own is basically the get rich quick scheme of the housing world. It only benefits the landlord, does not benefit you at all. And I have never known one of these to actually work out well. Something that I know several old people have based their retirement on. They're like, I will have somebody in this house for 5 to 7 years and they will give me a big lump sum of money and then I will evict them, because you can still get evicted. Usually pretty heavy fines and penalties in these contracts, because that's what they want to happen, right? This is how they make their money. They want you to default. You're already paying more than rent usually. But anyway, these old people will base their retirement on that. And I know a lot of the real estate investment bros really push rent to own for the same reason. Scams are everywhere. Keep your eyes open. If you've been suckered before, let me know. I want to hear how bad it was.